In this video, I'll be walking you through how to build a website using Vottiv's website builder. It's a very simple process. I'll walk you through how to fill out the form to help AI generate the initial website draft, how to view the website analytics and those types of things on the Vottiv dashboard, as well as how to edit the website. It's all very simple, and I'll start walking you through that now. So from your Vottiv dashboard, if you head over to Creative and click Website, I'll click Start Over from Scratch so we can see the entire process. I recommend having a PDF or some type of form where you've organized all the information about your campaign, why you're running, kind of those main points, your stances, any endorsements, anything like that, having it ready just so you can easily put it into this form as you fill it out to make it as quickly as possible. You can always just type it right in. So I will put in the candidate's name, Mark Reynolds. Why is Mark running? I've got this little blurb from him we can put in. And like I mentioned, this will just help the AI as it organizes and builds the initial draft. So click continue. Our top issues, I have that written as well. So the first one is fiscal discipline. And then where we stand on that in a sentence or two, I'll copy and paste that in. So essentially just spending residents' money like it's our own. The next point is to get the harbor revitalization right. So I'll copy and paste that in. Again, you can type all of this in. You don't need to have it set up beforehand, but that's just how I prefer to do it. And then the last one is just to preserve our coast. And so you can see as I'm copying and pasting in this information, it's showing a layout of what it could look like. So you can kind of see where this information will be going. The background and experience, I have a little biography for Mark that I'll paste in there. And then what's the goal of the site? What do we want our visitors to do? We're looking for volunteers and also donations. So I'll add both of those and then click continue. All right, and then I'll add a candidate photo of Mark as well as a hero image. So I'll show you what that will look like on the website. So we open that up and you can see, oops, looks like an issue on my end there. So when you put in your hero background photo, this is where it'll go kind of in the background here behind a transparent layer, just so you can kind of decide before you start putting them in what you're looking for. If you have additional photos, you can add those here. We do want to include a volunteer sign-up page. I have one endorsement that I want to put in here. So it's from Tom Delgado. And we will put in his information as well as his quote. Perfect. You can always add more endorsements if you have them. You can add them later once the website is built. And ways to connect. We just have a website or an email, excuse me. And so I will put that in, Mark for District 5. And then we're ready to go to the next step. So your templates, you can change your template here. We'll also be able to edit that later. I'm going to stick with this momentum option. The campaign colors, you can see that there's a variety of colors that are built out, color schemes. We actually have our own brand. So I'll add those. You can choose which brand color and accent here. We have hex codes. So there's a couple of different options here depending on how you have your colors. So I'll change this to the hex and put in that. It's still going to be blue and red, so pretty similar, but we just want to stay with our brand. So I will make these edits. That looks right. And then we'll throw in a light logo and a dark logo. You don't have to have these, but it's just going to replace this up here at the top left. So I'll put that in. And the way that I put in my logos is just a little bit backwards. So this is you can see that they're just a little bit backwards because of the way that I name them. But we'll continue. This is just the initial web address. We can, if we have a custom domain, we can change that later, and we'll click generate the website. So this takes usually about 30 seconds to build the first draft, and you'll see that we'll want to make some changes, but it looks pretty good. You can kind of see that up here. I'm running you through everything. You can see the overview of the page. For more in-depth analytics, you can come in to the analytics tab. We've got messages. So if anyone has sent you messages from your website, if you have any volunteer signups, you'll be able to see that as well. If you have any integrations from Google Analytics, those types of things, you can input them here. And if you want to change your domain, you can do that here as well. So we can preview our page. Let's see how it looks. Looks pretty good. A pretty good rough draft. But let's come back and I will click edit site to kind of show you how simple it is to change that. The first thing that I like to do is I like to come into design, and then over here I like to just go through these different templates to decide which one I think looks best. I think this summit option looks pretty good. Brand colors, we'll keep that the same, and then I'll go through these different fonts to decide what I think looks best. I like this rally option here. We could come in and we could change any of this information if we'd like. I think it looks pretty good. It generated how I like it. So this is our home page. Go through there. We can edit each of these sections if we'd like. You can see the text can be changed right there. So these are all the different pages that will pop up. You can see whether they're active or inactive. So if you decide to take one off, you can make it inactive. I actually do want an events page, so I will turn that on. And then on the events page, let's easily just drag over this events list. I'll come back and edit that here in a little bit. And let's go to the volunteer page. Okay, on the volunteer page, you can see we're collecting phone numbers, and to be compliant, I want to add in a consent checkbox. So let's edit that and include some text. So I have just a disclaimer already pulled up that needs to be on there to be 10DLC compliant. Put in my information. So this is the Mark Reynolds organization. And you can see down here, that's what it'll look like. So if I wanted to drag in any other components, I could do that. Here, you can edit the nav bar. So what's up at the top if you want, different pages to pop up on the nav bar. You can edit that footer. If you have a footer, you can do that there. Let's see, let's check out our privacy policy. Make sure that everything looks good there. Great, everything's looking pretty good. Let's click preview to see what it looks like. Yeah, this is looking how I want it to. Great. Let's come over to the volunteer page, check out that form. You can always remove any of these different sections. So if you want to remove, the availability, you can. Endorsements look good. We can add an image for Tom later. That's looking great. Okay, so that is the walkthrough of how to build a website using Vottiv's website builder. Again, there's a whole variety of components that you can add, and then just by clicking on a component, you can edit the text. And then if you have any design changes, you can come down to design. So it's a pretty simple process. To get back to Vottiv, we'll just click this back arrow. And then again, you can manage everything from this back end. If you have any questions, please let us know. But thanks for watching the video, and hope that everything goes well building your website.